Beep, 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 beep. Welcome to the court of the Edijester. How the devil are we all? What's been going on, he says. Now, on the Netflixings, yes, right, thereof, three-body problem I've been watching. Interesting, very interesting. Lots of the zeitgeist going on there. Messages from warrior teachers going, have you seen it? Have you seen it? Because it's got so much in there that we cover. It's amazing. And it seems to have a bit of a handle on certain things, and as the metaphors and the allegories come, shall we say, screaming out is the word that I would use. It's very good, very, very good indeed. It does, I think, towards the end, get bogged down in nonsense about relationships, but other than that, it's all right. I thought it was very good, but the beginning particularly is very, very good indeed, because it shows you a reality that existed. And that if we're not careful, will exist again in one form or another. So anyway, three-body problem, Netflix. All right, that's my recommendation for the week. Other than that, do please come and be a warrior teacher. May start. Had a couple of people already said hello. So let's have some more of you coming and saying hello. Get that May start going. Wednesday, third Wednesday of May onwards. Third Wednesday of May. So do please apply. Buy me a coffee, use your stuff. Here we go. Trans zealots are a threat to kids' welfare. Now, there are those that don't want to hear that. There are those that know that, and it's why we do what we do. But the marvellous, indomitable Joe Bartosh, in Spiked Online on the 25th of March, says, why did a CBBC presenter lead a protest against evidence-based medicine? What a very good question. And one that came off the back of a medical conference being held where there was a huge police presence because the nut jobs were there and in force. People attending medical conferences don't usually need police protection to get through the door, but on Saturday, when delegates met at the headquarters of the Royal College of General Practitioners, that's the RCGP in London, they had to push past a jeering, seething mob who let off smoke bombs and tried to force their way into the building. Lines of uniformed officers struggled to keep the entrances clear and to keep attendees safe. The supposedly controversial event, it was called First Do No Harm. They shoot themselves in the foot every time, don't they? And was held to discuss how to provide evidence-based treatment for patients with gender dysphoria. By now, it hardly needs spelling out that the protesters were trans rights activists. At the centre of the throng, there's a word not used often enough, Joe, Throng, was a Dr. Ronks Ikaria, the presenter of CBBC's Operation Ouch. Ikaria, who identifies as non-binary, they're everywhere, could be seen wielding a megaphone, presumably to try to drown out the speeches inside the conference. So a doctor who's on CBBC's is trying to prevent a group of medical practitioners from meeting to discuss the idea of first they do no harm when it comes to the trans cobblers. Have I got that right, Joe? I think I have. Ha ha. On the day of the protest, this, what's her name? Roxy Kahari? No. Ronks Ikaria, right, said that on her Instagram that anyone who opposes giving puberty-blocking drugs to children is dehumanising the existence of trans people. They are literally insane. Working for the BBC. Why is this person on CBBC? God, the questions that need to be asked of the corporation are unbelievable. Transphobia is alive and kicking under the guise of protecting kids and young people, she wrote. So there, you notice the classic thing there. Kids and young people. Who does she mean? There's always that classic, because she didn't want to just say kids. The guys are protecting kids because people will go, yep, why are they protecting kids? What are they protecting kids from? Let's have a look at it. You say kids and young people, it obfuscates a very real issue. So she's obfuscating that. First Do No Harm was organised by the Clinical Advisory Network on Sex and Gender. CAN-SG, brackets, close brackets. The idea was to offer a platform to clinicians to voice concerns about the blurring of the lines between ideology and evidence in gender medicine. Gender medicine used there by Joe, not a term that I would use because gender doesn't have a medicine, it doesn't need medicine, it's a social construct. In recent years, this at the behest of trans activists, young people have been prescribed puberty blockers and cross-sex hormones, despite the fact that there is no evidence that these drugs are either safe or effective at alleviating their distress. Could use the word distress there, Joe. That's what it is, distress. We've no idea what it is other than that. It's just distress. Distress at not being able to live in a fantasy world. Often, kids are simply affirmed in their chosen gender and given puberty blockers without any proper psychological evaluation. Or examination, the word here used by Joe. A cursory look at the lineup should have made it obvious that CanSG is not made up of swivel-eyed bigots. The conference attracted leading experts from across the world. One speaker, Oxford sociology professor Michael Biggs, tells me it was sadly predictable that a large threatening mob would try to prevent us from discussing safe, evidence-based care for gender-questioning children and young adults. Absolutely. Now you imagine if a group of people got together who were in the business of helping with addiction, for example. That would be a good example to put with this, with addiction. And they all got together in a conference to find out the best way they can help people with their addiction. And outside was a bunch of people going, you're actually, what you're doing there is you're stopping people from getting access to meth, crystal meth and heroin, you swine. You're stopping people from being their authentic selves with their with their meth and their crystal things and amphetamines, needles, injections. Right? You'd think it was the same thing. All the protests achieved was to emphasise why CanSG's mission is so vital. Indeed, all that CanSG is attempting to do in what has sadly become a discredited phrase is follow the science. This was perfectly encapsulated by the experience of keynote speaker Dr. Edijester Kaltiala, a world leader in the field of paediatric gender medicine. As chief psychiatrist at Finland's top gender identity clinic, she has overseen the treatment of thousands of young patients, many of whom will have been offered puberty blockers. She can hardly be dismissed as a transphobe. What? Go and have a look. Article links in the doobly as usual. Right. The other thing is, there was a chart they put up, not a chart, like a PowerPoint, that went around with people, with the thing about we have to give some people puberty blockers and whatever. That was one PowerPoint. I fell for this. Right. Even I said no. Well, I still say no. But you'll be pleased to hear that many people at the conference also did, and that was only one voice amongst many. I believe this was the same conference, I think. So go and have a read. Joe's written it. You could read it. It won't kill you. Other than that, thanks so much for watching. Keep fighting. I'll see you later.